Thank you for staying with us here on Politics Today on Channels Television. Well, the issue in the PDP is what gets us talking tonight. But at that convention yesterday, where a lot of development came from the walkout by the governor, also even before then, the Anambra State stand was where every eye was looking, and this was the situation at the Anambra stand. We show you some of these visuals and sights and sound of what happened in these. I'm going to guide you through some of the situation there. This is the Anambra stand. I told you earlier on that each of the states had their own stand. But all of a sudden, this is what we saw at the Anambra State stand. Remember, Anambra is going to the polls to elect, for them to elect a governor come November the 16th. In the PDP, there was said to be two factional primaries. Dr. Chris Uba emerged as the candidate of a particular faction. And on the other side, Mr. Tony Nwoye also emerged, and therefore it brought about the dilemma of who is the real candidate of the PDP in that state. Well, the PDP has submitted the name of Mr. Tony Nwoye, but this time around, when Mr. Tony Nwoye came to the arena, he saw Mr. Dr. Chris Uba on the seat, and this was what happened afterwards. Anambra stand there is members loyal to each of the divide, talking about Dr. Chris Uba and also Mr. Tony Nwoye. They are fighting for their men to have their seat. Supporters loyal to Mr. Nwoye believes that their candidate, Mr. Nwoye, is the one that is permitted by law, where the constitution of the PDP gives an automatic delegate ticket for the governorship candidate of the party, and that's what some of the supporters are fighting for. They believe that Mr. Tony Nwoye should be the one seated, not Mr. Chris Uba. Well, after this particular fighting came to a halt, we spoke with the two of the candidates, or the two aspirants, and this is what they had to say. Take a listen.
A little bit disagreement. You see, Anambra is a peaceful state. There is no cause for alarm. We are here to elect the new national officers of the party. Everything is under control. Anamberans are very peaceful people, but not known to be causing problems. I assure you, there is no problem. There is no cause for alarm. There is no fraction. Everybody has united under Ken Emakaya as a state chairman. Only one state chairman. Only one state chairman. Ken Emakaya. And one traveler, Comrade Tony Nwoye, which our friend Chris Uba even acknowledged Ken Emakaya here as the state chairman of the party. There is no faction again.
I think there is a misunderstanding somewhere, because I believe that what I did was right. Because INEC is an observer. And I'm sure why we are having this convention is because INEC pointed out that people were not properly elected because we didn't do the proper voting. The same way INEC made their statement. So I believe that we should go by what the law and the rules says between the party and INEC. So thank God that we are all working together now.
Well, that was Mr. Andy Uba. Rather, I made a mistake of Chris. Chris is his brother, who is also a member of the party, and Tony Nwoye. Those are the two men where there seems to be a kind of stalemate, and this is what we saw, where supporters of the two men actually came fighting themselves at the stand. And this, again, at the River State stand. Well, we may not have the time to bring you those pictures, but some of the members loyal to Governor Amechi were not given the opportunity. They actually said they couldn't get a seat because the anti-Amechi supporters had taken all the seats. These are some of the issues that happened at the convention yesterday. Let me ask you, we see this kind of situation that happened at the convention yesterday. It's a big family, yes, but the leadership under Alhaji Bamanga took us seems to be a very stormy one.
Well, it's very stormy again because, like I said earlier, what we see happening is that, politics, as we've seen displayed, for them, it's a zero-sum game. It's about 2015. Even what you see playing out with who emerges as the governorship candidate in Anambra State, it's about 2015. Because the way it is, the governors control the party structures at the state level. And the governors also, the ones who ultimately produce the delegates and ensure that whatever happens in terms of the candidature of the party is very much in the hands of the governors. Now, perhaps, this is my take, Andy Uba perhaps is not seen as a Jonathan loyalist. And therefore, in this context, he would not be seen as somebody who can be relied upon. I mean, that is my take. And now, as to which of the factions conducted proper primaries, well, the courts will decide, because Andy Uba, if I understand it, has gone to court to say that his faction were the properly recognized faction, the one INEC had officials observing primaries. The party, on the other hand, PDP, says that no, it was a different faction that they recognized, which produced Tony Nwoye as the candidate. So clearly there's an issue there. And at the end of the day, perhaps in this sort of situation, only the courts can decide.
All right, let's go to how these issues can be resolved. We've seen clearly that some members of the party are far away from all these issues. But there are reports now that President Jonathan met with former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Which of the personalities or the characters in the PDP do you think can actually help solve this problem facing the party?
That's a very tough question. It's difficult to answer because, you see, the bottom line of it is about power, really, and it's now about how do you accommodate different interests. And for some people, going forward, they feel that Goodluck Jonathan should not be the presidential candidate come 2015. But on the other side, you face the fact that the reality is the fact that Goodluck Jonathan is a president who's emerged as a South-South president, unprecedented. And there are large sections as well within the South-South, which incidentally is where I come from, who argue that, why shouldn't he have two bites at the cherry? That why shouldn't he be able to come out and have a shot at the presidency come 2015? So these are the tensions within the party.
All right. Let me allow Mr. Benson, just before we close, we're looking at what is a possible solution for the PDP. It seems to be a very critical stage for the party. Either we like it or not, whatever happens in the PDP affects Nigeria, affects Nigerians. What do you think is a possible way out, and who are the characters you think can be responsible in resolving and involving the reconciliation process of the PDP?
Well, PDP being the ruling party, whatever decision that is taken by that party, though sometimes there is a narrow gap between the government and the party, but we do know that the government implements the policies or the manifesto of the party, and at night the party meets with the government to take decisions. So during the daytime, the party steps aside while the government carries out the policies and manifestos of the party.